Hey guys, it's Amy at Zoe Beck, and I'm going to do my weekly reading update for August 7th, 2022. So, it has been still warm this week. We had a couple good days, which I really enjoyed at work. It was like the 70s and it was awesome. There's a couple overcast days, but beyond that, it's still too hot for me, and I'm not enjoying it. Today is supposed to be 100. I'm not looking forward to that. I did already go out early this morning to do a little grocery shopping to get me through. I am leaving on vacation on Thursday, so I just had to buy a few things to get me through the couple of days that I'll be this week, and then and then I have a couple more errands I have to do after work every day to get ready, and I have to clean parts of my house and because I'm going with my parents to the Midwest. We are going to fly into Minneapolis, and then we stay at the family farm, which is on the border of Iowa and Minnesota. So I'll be in and out of Minnesota and Iowa for about 9 days. So I'm looking forward to it. It should be fun. We haven't been back in 3 years, so we get to see a lot of people I have not seen in 3 years. My parents have gone back for a wedding earlier this year. A lot of them were at a wedding in Colorado, so they got to go. I did not get to go because it was a very out of the way place. I really wanted to go, but I couldn't make that work with getting out of work and flying there and making it and getting transportation there. It was a really weird area, but I hear it was really nice. It was so sad. Anyway, so we're gonna, as I said, I'll be flying with my parents. My brother's not going, so he's gonna be taking care of my cats, which my cats are scaredy cats, and they're mean to him. They just ignore him for the first couple days. He'll come over, and then they'll start to warm up to him, but they're just mean like that. I don't understand why, but I don't know. They were so friendly when they're little, and then they just kind of got used to just me. It's so sad. But they see him all the time, and they're still standoffish. They're dorks. Anyway, so he's gonna take care of my cats. So the rest today I'm gonna do a few errands. Not errands. I had to do one more errand today, and then the rest I'll do after work. The next couple days I have to clean parts of my house that I just have been putting off because I have to vacuum, and that's the biggest thing I'm gonna try to do the next day or two, because my cats are orange fur balls, and they've shedded all over the place since the last time I vacuumed, and I want to do that. So anyway, I have things around the house I need to do, but we're leaving Thursday morning, so I got to get everything done Wednesday, and I won't pack till Thursday morning because my cats freak out when they see the luggage. So I don't know if anybody else has that issue with their pets. Anyway, so that said, I don't know how my filming will be next week. I don't know if I'm going to do a weekly update or I'm just going to do some vlog style thing once I'm on vacation talking about what I'm reading. I don't know. I might skip next Sunday, so I'm not sure how that's going to go. I will have a couple videos up this week, and one of them will be my vacation TBR. So I'm not going to talk today about what I'm going to read on Thursday beyond. So I'm just going to talk about the stuff I'm going to read before that. If that makes sense, what I think, because there's things I want to get done, because I am in the middle of way too many books. So let's talk about the books I finished, the ones I'm in the middle of, and as I said, there's too many, and what I think I'm going to read in the first part of the week. And then, as I said, there'll be a video later this week about what I'm going to read on vacation, because again, I added a lot of stuff that wasn't on my original TBR. It's not how that goes. Anyway, so Sunday I finished Named of the Dragon by Susanna Kearsley. I really enjoyed this, but it's not one of my favorites. This is actually probably my least favorite of the Susanna Kearsley books that I have read. It has that kind of mystical element to it, or speculative element, but it just wasn't enough in this one. So we're following, what is her name? Lynn, and she is a agent in publishing, and she has this very eccentric author who writes children's books that she gets invited with her to go to Wales for Christmas. And so she goes because she's had kind of a rough time earlier, things in her life and stuff. And so she goes mostly just because for something different. And so she goes there and she meets, several other writers who live in this small town of Engel. that's on the coast. And it's talking about, it's very much, you know, people in the industry of writers talking about writing and publishing, and a lot of that stuff was all really good. I liked all the characters were pretty well fleshed. I liked her. I liked the the characters that she stayed with, the writer that is letting them stay at their house, his house, and then of course the one that she's the agent to, and it's just funny. And so then there's kind of this little bit of a Arthurian and kind of Henry VII kind of vibe in here of things due to the area of where this is at, and some kind of history stuff, and it's kind of all mashed together. I like her history stuff that's in there. I liked most of the characters. The love story in here was not, the romance was not to my liking. It just didn't really work for me in this one. It was definitely not a favorite. So I would say this is not one of my favorites of hers. I still really enjoyed it. I still think it was a good read. It's just not my favorite of her books. And I look forward to reading on, because I'm so behind. I still have 6 or 7 of her books to read, and I have them all. I just need to read them. So I'm glad I at least got one more done. Maybe I can pick up another one before the end of the year. I think the next one I have is what is that one? Season of Storms, I think, is the next one, because I read several of them out of order. I mean, not out of order, out of publication order, and then I've gone back now and starting to read the ones I haven't hit yet in publication order. So I think the next one is Season of Storms. So I'm hoping to get to that one here in the next couple months, maybe, if I get lucky. But I'm really glad I picked it up, just because I have not read her in a while. And I do recommend her for very local historical kind of themes, as well, with kind of a mystical element of something in the past is kind of affecting the people in the future. And this was just not my favorite of the group. So then I had several library books that came in on Sunday. I mentioned I was going to the library on Sunday, so I picked stuff up, and a lot of new stuff came in. One of them was What Moves the Dead by T. Kingfisher. So T. Kingfisher and I have kind of a love-hate relationship, and then I like half of the stuff I read by her, and the other half I DNF. So this one I wasn't sure if I was going to like this. This is a retelling of The Fall of the House of Usher by Poe. And I really enjoyed this one. Actually, I liked the retelling aspects of this. I haven't read the short story, The Fall of the House of Usher, in years, but I still remember parts of it. So I probably should have reread it. I did think about rereading it, but I just didn't. I got it from the library to read on my Kindle, but I never picked it up or off my phone. So we're following, I can't remember his name. I've read too many books this week, sorry. Alex, who is kind of from a smaller country than knows the Ushers, and he gets a letter, or they get a letter from, their pronouns are they. Sorry. And they get a letter from Madeline Usher's saying that she wants to see them. So they travel there, and they were in, they and Roderick, the brother of Madeline, were in the war together. And so they all knew each other as children. And so Alex goes to this, to the property where the Ushers are, and it's just a bizarre journey. It starts out really quiet, as in what's so kind of weird, to do with some really weird fungus and mushrooms, and then what is going on with the rabbits and their weird things, and then in the house that's falling all around them, what's going on there, and what's going on between Madeline and Roderick, and then another character who is a friend of Roderick's who is there. And there's like some kooky characters in here. There's a woman who is who's studying the fungi out on the fields and stuff, and then Alex's man-at-arms who traveled with them, and it was very. There's a lot of. It wasn't that many characters, but I liked the way they all interacted. I really enjoyed this one. This was I think it was kind of spooky and stuff. I mean, not like scary or anything. I wasn't like that. It was just kind of, ooh, that, I didn't think of that. And it was just, it kind of gross, not super gross, but just a little bit, ooh, in certain points in the way it went. And again, I knew where I was going to go just because I have read the Fall of the House Usher. So I knew that this was a retelling, and I kind of figured it would follow quite a bit of that, and it did actually. So I thought this was a great retelling. It was very different, modernized, because I think this is late 1800s, when I think the Fall of the House Usher is more early to mid 1800s. I can't remember. Anyway, point is that I really enjoyed this one. I'm glad I picked this up. I did try Nettle and Bone and just couldn't get into it because I had it from the library, and I just, I didn't even talk about it on here because I only read a little bit of it and I had to give it back because I just ran out of time. So I might try that one again because everybody's talking about that one and saying it's a great retell, or a great, kind of more, fairy tale aspect one. But this one, I really enjoyed it, and I'm glad it came in from my library before my vacation, so I got to read it, because it was pretty short and a little weird. It was very weird. T. Kingfisher does weird stuff. I did find that. I then read The Employees by Olga Varn, I think. Vaughan. This was translated from the Danish by Martin Atkin, I think is how it said. So this was my first book I finished for Women in Translation Month. I do it usually throughout the month. There is a readathon put on that starts on Monday of this week. That runs from Monday the 8th to the 14th by Matthew Sharapa, Jennifer at insert literary pun here, and Kendra Winchester. I will not be taking part quite so much in their readathon because of my vacation coming up, but I do follow several people on Instagram and Twitter who talk about women in translation for Women in Translation Month, which is August. So I'm just going to be reading at least one or two a week, hopefully, since I have been really bad this year about picking up any translated works. So the first one I picked up was The Employees. This is futuristic or sci-fi, talking about a ship. It's called the 6,000 ship? Yeah, the 6,000 ship. And it's like a couple of centuries into the future, and they've left Earth, and the humans have gone along with these other humanoids that have been created. So we're getting like little, it's kind of, how was it? It's like interview style where you don't hear the interviewer, which is kind of like Slavanya Alekovic's nonfiction, where she just lets the person tell the story kind of thing without her voice being heard in her nonfiction. It's exactly what this is. And this is just little, some of them are really short. They're just like a certain statement. And then sometimes, well, there's some longer ones. So there's some longer ones, but not very many. It really was a quick read. This was really fast, but it's really interesting to see the beginning where they've gone to a new planet and they've found some objects and how people are reacting to these objects. The humans are reacting and the humanoids. And then you kind of see how their interactions with these objects start to affect the interactions between the humans and the humanoids. And it was a great breakdown of relations of people when they're stuck on a ship out in the middle of space, with little communication from home, and no possibility of getting home. It was really good for the little thing. I didn't love it or anything. It was compelling enough that I read it fairly quickly. I don't think I would ever reread this, so it's not like it was that, like, it was interesting though. I didn't expect the way things went with the different people telling, because you don't know who's telling you the story, and sometimes you don't even know if it's the human or the humanoid until later. You just kind of go, oh, whoa, I was thinking of it differently. And it was really interesting in the beginning because I couldn't tell the difference most of the time who was talking and or why they're making that statement or what. So it was really a bizarre little book. Again, I heard about this last year, I think. off some channels, and I didn't get to it last year. I don't think we had a copy in the US, a print. So I got that again. I said I got this from the library. I was really glad to read this. Again, it was another little short one. This is the week of short books, but library books. So I'm glad I got that. That was my first book for Women in Translation this month. Unfortunately, it wasn't also translated by a woman, but hey, I got half of it anyway. And then also I got I actually went back to the library on Tuesday because this popped up because I had a doctor's appointment, so I got off a little early, so I stopped by the library. And I got A Prayer for the Crowned Shy by Becky Chambers. This is the second book in the Monk and Robot series. So I read a Psalm for the Wild Built last year in the summer. I got that fairly early, and I enjoyed that quite a bit. This one I liked. I think I liked this one better. Maybe because I understood Dex, the main character, more. I'm not sure. But anyway, I liked the interactions and how in the end, I was surprised at how this ended and the things that were brought up between Dex and Moscap, who is the robot. So the robot in the first book shows up and asks, what does humanity want? Because hundreds of years ago, they disappeared. They left all the factories and they went into the wild, and nobody's seen a robot with AI in centuries. And so the first book is Dex finding who is a tea monk who is traveling around and going through their own kind of things. And then they run into the robot Moscap. And so that was kind of the start of their adventure. And then this was more the interactions with Moscap and the populace as they find out more about the robot, and the robot finds out more about humanity and stuff. I thought it was just really good read. I really enjoyed it. I mean, it's the way it ended. I'm pretty sure there's got to be at least one more book coming for this series. So hopefully next year. We'll see. As I said, it was again another really short one. I like Becky Chambers most of the time, so I really enjoyed that. That did remind me I still have the last book in the Wayfarer series to read, so I might need to read that soon. But I did enjoy that, and if you read the first book, I would definitely recommend reading on. Again, I said I liked a lot of the themes and the things that popped up in this book that were very interesting. So I did like that. And then I finished my reread by audio of Stone of Farewell by Tad Williams. I listened to, as I said, I've been listening. I started this mid-July. I should have started these earlier in the year. As I said, I reread The Dragonbone Chair in January, and then I meant to continue on, but work would just knock things out of my head. So, and I didn't feel like reading big epic fantasy, even though it was a reread. So this is the second book in Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn. So again, part of my favorite series of all time. I just adored this. Even I know why people don't like this quite as well as the first and the third book in this series, just because this is a traveling book. This is everybody moving into position kind of thing. I mean, it's not completely done moving things, but I meant there's so much movement and they're just on the road and getting stuck in places. And I find this one, I think it's a good solid second book, but I can see why some of the complaints of it. But I really love these characters. Again, Simon is one of my favorite characters of all time. And in the first book, The Dragonbone Chair, Simon is a young kitchen boy who dreams of grandeur, but he gets caught up in things that he never expected, and as that is still happening through this book, and the things that the people and the big movers and shakers that have affected his life. And as I said, I really enjoyed Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn. And as I said, the new book for The Last King of Ostenard, which is the second series, has come out in July. So that's probably why I finally picked this up, is because now I have to read that one, but I want to reread all the books in before it. So as I said, I really enjoyed this. I'm, as I said, hopefully I'll get to the other books faster, which I will talk about one in a second. I did also finish a manga from the library, The Ancient Magnus Bride, this is volume 1 by Yuri Yamazaki. This was translated by Adrian Beck. So this This was weird. And this is one of those ones where I'm on the fence on if I want to read another one. So I might ask for the second book just because I'm not sure. So we're following Cheesy, I think is how her name is said. And she is sold to Elias. I don't remember his other name, but he's a mage. And he has this very anyway. And she is sold to be his apprentice. And she's had a really hard life. But she comes from Japan, and then this is set so but they and he lives in England, but it's all very kind of has this spec of witches and mages and alchemists and things going on. So there's a lot of stuff going on in here. The end of the book had them traveling, trying to help other people, and I did like that. I liked it better. They went to the land of the cats, which is or something like that. It was cool. They had all the little cats, and there's a dragon in another part. I did like it, so I think I am gonna get the second one and try that one. I mean, I'm not gonna ask for it until after I get back from vacation, but it was just a weird one. And I know that there's at least 16 or 17 volumes out of this. I don't know if they're out in English, all of them. I know a lot of them are. So this might be one I want to continue. I'm not sure how I feel about this one. So it was good, but it wasn't like super absorbent. Like I wasn't like, I kind of picked it up, set it down kind of thing. So we'll see. We'll see. And then the last thing I finished yesterday was A Bookshop in Algiers by Huther Adamini. And this was translated from the French by Chris Andrews. So I don't know if that's male or female anyway, but at least there's a female, there's another women in translation book. I started this one. This was actually the first one I started, but I stalled out on this right after I started it. Okay. So this is one of those books that I purchased. I actually pre-ordered this book thinking it was one thing and it's something else. So I first thought this was actually nonfiction about a bookshop in Algiers. And I think when I look at the description, I kind of see where I messed up on that. So, okay, that was on me. Okay, so after I got it, though, I realized it was not, it was fiction. But it does talk about a man who, Edmond Charlotte, so he came to Algiers and he opened a bookshop in 1936. And then there's also another storyline of the present in 2017, where a young man, I think it's Reed, or I don't know how you say his name, he is sent to clean out the bookshop after it's been closed, and it was a lending library for a little bit of time, and now the owner wants to take over the property and needs it all cleaned out so that they can make a restaurant out of it, or bakery. So he is sent there, and then it's his interactions with the community when he comes in to clean out this bookstore that's been there since 1936. So there was a lot in this that I thought was really good. We get histories of the 1936 from Charlotte, who was very influential in with his bookstore going into publishing for Algiers and Algeria and stuff. And that part was really interesting. There were journal entries from him and stuff. And again, some of it's made up. Some of it was actually taken from letters and things that the author did a lot of research on him. And then there's the stuff in the present time talking about Abdullah, who was running the store, or the lending library part of it until it's sold. And then he's his life, is different now that they closed it and everything. And then the community is not happy about the changes, in the present day, because that's, they're going to take out that, even though nobody was using the library there. And it was like, so there was the past and the present, it'd go back and forth, but it had this great history lesson within it of things that happened in Algiers through that time period, and them relating to France, and the way that they were in charge and the bad things that went on there. And I think that part was good. I liked all the history in here, I liked even the past timeline. But the problem with this book is that it's talking about a bookshop in Algiers, and most of this book is not in Algiers, and I think that's where the problem lies. He starts the real the real person, Edmund Charlotte, didn't start. I mean, he started in Algiers, and that's where the book starts. But then he goes to he has during the war, he's called up and things go out on in the 40s, and then he goes to Paris, and he's there a really long, or for a while, doing stuff with publishing. And it's not the bookshop. It has nothing to do with the bookshop. It has to do with his life. So I just think that this title, everything it didn't do it. And then it had the young kid who went to clean out the shop in the present tense. He doesn't even like to read. And there's all these books with just so much history from the collection that this other guy, put together. There were just so many things wrong with this. Anyway, so this was not a favorite. This will never be a favorite. I'll probably be getting rid of this, which is sad because I did pre-order this. But I did finish another Women in Translation book. Again, it's another short one, but that's why I picked it up, and because I knew I wasn't sure I was going to like this after I found out it was fiction instead of nonfiction when I bought it. I don't know. I think, again, the history part of this was good. I learned a lot about Algiers and the war that, between, France and their revolution and stuff. I just didn't like it overall. Anyway, okay, so I have talked way too much already, but those are all the books that I read this week. I did a lot of shorts things. I just said library books all came in. I had to read them because I have to turn them all back in today, so that I have to put everything on hold. So no more books come in from the library. So the books I'm in the middle of, I did start the audiobook to Green Angel Tower by Tad Williams. Again, this is also read by Andrew Wincott. So I have started this. This is only part 1 in physical form. I have the 2 mass market paperbacks. I do have the hardback as well, but anyway, I just started. I got like 78 pages done on Friday. So I will continue listening to that if I feel like that this week. If not, this will just, when I pick up audiobooks again, it'll be this one. But it's like a 63-hour audiobook for To Green Angel Tower. So when I listen to it at 1.5 speed, it's going to be like 42 hours. So I read about 2.5 hours at work. It's going to be a while. Anyway, I did start The Alloy of Law by Brandon Sanderson. This is the first book in the Mistborn era too. I'm not going to say a whole bunch about this yet because I'm only about 75 pages in. But I did start this, I think, on Friday. So I think, I'm not sure how I feel about this yet. It's too early. Definitely different from Mistborn Era 1 because this is following Wax and Wayne. Mostly Wax right now is who we're talking about. And he has just come from the roughs and then moved back into town, into this huge town where he has inherited a mansion and a big family corporation kind of thing. And he's trying to deal with stuff in his past and stuff, and their mysteries are just starting in here. So it's getting kind of interesting. So, as I said, I want to read the Mistborn Era 2, the first 3 books before November when the 4th book comes out. And again, I'm really high on the library list. So I'm hoping to get it at the end of November. But, so I want to make sure I get through these. So I do want to read that. So I will continue to read that. I did start last night Strange Beasts of China by Yan Ji. So this is translated by Jeremy Tiang. So I forgot I had this book is annoying. Some of the pages, you can't tell, were caught together. So I tried to cut them all. Like, anyway, there's all kind of like, anyway, never mind. Anyway, so this one is a book was originally written in Chinese, I believe. And this one is a weird one. I only read the first section, which following this writer who is talking about these beasts in this area. And the first one was called Sorrowful Beast. And that story went in directions I did not expect. So it's kind of like, I think they're kind of like short stories. Like the first one was still 32 pages, but they were short little sections, and it's the person's trying to find out about these beasts that live in this area and how they interact in their how they interact with humans and things. I don't know, it's hard to explain. But I read the first section and I liked it. I liked the writing. I think my problem is really going to be the reporter or the writer who's doing the investigating. And I forgot that was a theme in here on that. So we'll see. As I said, I have a real trouble reading about reporters. So we'll see what happens. But so far, I'm enjoying this. It's very weird. And it has a lot of talk about sexualities and things because they're using the beasts and different ways that they have sex and things like that. It's just, I mean, so far. And then the other book that I started to reread was Deal with the Devil by Kit Rocha. This is the first book in the Mercenary Librarians series. It's a apocalyptic urban fantasy. We're following 3 women who are coaxed into going on kind of a mission to find an old Library of Congress. So this is after the world has been devastated by solar flares, and they're trying to find more information and stuff for just to have information. I don't know how to say that. They're trying to find the information for the people that they live around and to, for everybody to keep for the future, but it's been lost during this time. And then there's some soldiers that are with them who have their own agendas, and they were all like enhanced by big corporations in the Atlanta area in Georgia. So it's a very interesting post-apocalyptic kind of thing where there's technology, but it's kind of different. There's roads and things, but things are messed up, like bridges have fallen, and the infrastructure was damaged beyond repair at the time. And so it's like the 2080s, I think, is what this is. Anyway, I read this last year before the second book came out, but I never read the second book. So the third book is coming out at the end of this month. So I wanted to reread the first book, read the second book, and then read this. So those are what I'm reading right now. So that's it. I have talked way too much for what I was going to do. I did read a lot. I mean, I said, I read, what did I say? 7 things? Well, so I finished 7 things. One's a manga and one was an audiobook that I'd started weeks ago. But still, I did quite a lot. Unfortunately, I'm in the middle of, as I said, 4 things. So we'll see how many of those. I'm hoping to get at least 2 of the 3, not the audiobook. To Eat Green Jail Tower is going to take me a month or whatever to listen to that. But the other 3, I'm hoping to get at least 1 or 2 of those done by Wednesday night. So Thursday, I will have other stuff. So as I said, I will put up a video later this week talking about my vacation reads. And we'll see what I actually read. I'm not sure. So that's it. How are you guys doing? Are you guys staying cool? I know here in the Northern Hemisphere is so hot right now. Really kind of annoyed with it. The poor kitty cats are shedding everywhere. So as I said, I have to do some vacuuming today. Anyway, and they're not going to be happy when I leave either. So we'll see what happens. I guess I forgot my board real quick, because last week I did add the 1 mark for I did start a series. I'm going to put down that I continued the Monk and Robot. And then I think that's all. Yeah, that's all. Oh, translated. I got 2 translated. Look at me. I am going to count my 1-page count over 700 because that Stoner Farewell counts. Because even though it's a reread, which I could put a reread, it still counts. Because it was a big book. Since that's probably the only big books I'll read this year are from Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn and The Last King of Ostenard, but whatever. So far, July and August, the thing I'm noticing is I'm not finishing any series. That's kind of sad. Oh, and I didn't have well, I'm not sure about historical fiction. I think I might have messed up. I think I might have one or two that I've read, but we'll see. I might change that. Anyway, that's it. I'm sorry. So Cooper and I are going to go, and I will talk to you guys later. I'm in a weird mood. If you made it this far, thank you so much. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.